back to the Box of Delights game channel. We're playing Robinson Crusoe Adventure on the Cursed Island. This is a new game, released at Essen Spiel 2012. I've not played the game before, so we're going to learn this one together. So this series is going to be a learn to play as we play series, and the starting episode is going to be set up. So let's crack open the box and take a look at the contents. First thing we need to do during the setup is get this pretty large board out on the table. If we take a closer look, we can see over here we've got the main island where the adventure is going to play out. Down the bottom here we have different adventures that are going to occur, and this is where we're going to put decks of cards and events and so on. This is a place that's going to remind us of the turn order or the round order. This is our morale here. This is where our event deck's going to go. And over on the right here in the centre we've got the main area where inventions are going to go that we're going to develop as the game plays. This little track, these tracks here represent the shelters and the roofs and the palisades that surround our shelter. This is where our resources are going to go, and at the top right is our weapon development. Down at the bottom right here we have more placements for things like weather. First thing we're going to do during setup is we're going to select our character. For this playthrough we're going to play solo. We can play 1 to 4 in this game, and playing solo means we're just going to choose one character. And what the rules tell us is that when you're playing with solo, just choose one of these three, and you would normally choose randomly. I'm going to pick the Explorer. There's two sides to this. There's a male side and a female side. They're identical other than the imagery. Okay, so that's going to be our character for the game, Explorer. I'll just place him down the bottom of the board, and these other ones go back in the box, and we won't use those for this game. I think playing solo is a good way to begin. I think there's a lot of people out there now who are going to be picking up this game new, and being able to play solo means you can get the rules down before you take this one out to your mates and start to play this in a group. So this walkthrough hopefully will get you up and running a bit more quickly playing solo. The next thing you're going to need when you're playing solitaire is Friday and the dog. So these are going to be your companions in this adventure. This game's a lot about action placement, and to do that you're going to need some of these action tokens. There's different colours you can choose. I think we've got blue, yellow, orange, black. So I'm going to take blue. So we need 2 of these, but these are going to represent the 2 actions that we can take each turn. But playing solo means that we're going to be limited about what we can do. So we've got Friday and the dog, but we're going to also be able to use actions. So we take this pink token for Friday and this white one for the dog, and that means we're going to be able to play 4 actions each round. There's quite a few decks of cards in this game, and the first deck we're going to come to for setup is this Inventions deck. We're going to come back to this in a minute, but at the moment we're looking for just one card. On the Explorer it says shortcut here, and this is going to be like a special item that our character can use. So we're just going to have a little quick look in our Inventions deck and grab the shortcut card. Here we go. I'm going to place this here. There's 2 sides to this card. This is face down, this is face up. So until we've completed this invention, it remains face up here. The game also comes with a whole bunch of cubes and so on. We're going to grab some of these cubes. The red ones are our wound markers. I'm going to grab 2 of these. We're going to put one here on our Explorer in this square, and one here on Friday on this square also. There's not a lot of room here, but on this square, and this is his wound track, a lot smaller than our Explorers. We also have these black, white and blue, kind of more plastic as opposed to wooden, shiny cubes. We're going to grab some of these black ones and white ones now and set those up on the board. To start with, we're going to take one of our white ones and we're going to place it up here on the morale track. And we want to place it in the 0 spot in the middle here. Now we're going to take a black one and place it up here on the weapons level track. And we're going to just place it here to represent 0 for our starting weapons level. I've got one more black cube to place during setup, and that's going to be on one of our inventions. So I'm going to go grab my invention cards again, and what I'm looking for is this way up. Some of these inventions have the names with the double arrows either end. The rest don't have these arrows. Okay. There's 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 9 with these arrows at either end. Okay. These are going to be our starting invention cards. And we're going to deal them out here in this central area. And now we've got these all dealt out, we're going to take the third of our black cubes for setup. We're going to place it here on the shovel, on this little piece of terrain. This bit of terrain here represents the seashore. Every time you explore some terrain, if one of these inventions has a terrain symbol on it or a terrain icon, and it's a terrain that you're exploring, you get to place one of these black tokens, these black cubes. Since we start the game on the seashore and the shovel here is found at the seashore, we immediately, for the start of the game, get the shovel. Having placed our 9 starting inventions, we need to grab 5 random ones as well. So we're going to have to shuffle these. You're going to have to do it kind of blind because they are double-sided. And we're going to grab 5 at random and deal these. And we're going to place the rest at the side of the board. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And for our first game, our random ones are wool, raft, snare, fireplace and drums. The next set of cards we're going to lay out for setup are the adventure cards. And we've got 3 sets of adventure cards separated by their backs. Okay, so these ones with the hammer go here. This set with this basket or bowl go in the middle, and these green ones, green backed ones with a telescope on, go here. These are adventure. And these areas are known as action fields. For when we're building, gathering resources and exploring. So these are different adventures that can occur when we're doing those kind of activities. Okay, they need a good shuffle because they need to be randomized. Alright, so we're going to do that during setup. Next set of cards are these beast cards. Once more, we're going to give these a bit of a shuffle and place them at the side of the board. So these beast cards, they're going to represent the types of wild animals that we're going to potentially encounter during our adventures on the island. Fabulous. Okay. Next deck of cards is the mystery cards. Okay, we need to give these a good shuffle and once more place them at the side of the board somewhere. For these mystery cards, they introduce another level of randomness in the game, so treasures and so on that we might discover during our adventures. Now for setup, we're going to start to look at the island, not cards this time, but tiles. And the tile we're looking for is this volcano one. It's got a number 8 written on it. It's very small, way down here. This is our starting tile, the beach tile. The volcano on the back. Alright, so it's pretty easy to find. And we want to place that in a very specific spot on the island, and that's just here. In this spot, central, far left hex. And then we take the camp token, and this has a tent on it, and we're going to place it here. Now, we don't want the tent, we want the little campfire, so it should be this way up, alright? So this little campfire, tent on one side, campfire on the other. This is our starting camp. We don't have a shelter yet. When we build a shelter, then we'll get to see this. We flip it over and we see this shelter side, but for now, we're out in the open. We've got ourselves a little campfire on the beach. And the rest of these terrain cards, well, they're going to form a random deck, so we're going to give them a shuffle. We're going to place them face down on the side of the board, so we'll find a spot perhaps over here. The next set of cards we need are the starting items. So these are items. They have the same back, but they have items on the face-up side. It doesn't matter how many players there are in the game, it could be from 1 to 4. There's only ever going to be 2 items like this in the game, however many players you are. So as a group, because you're playing cooperatively or solitaire just on your own, you take 2 starting items at random. Okay? And we have the storm glass and the pistol. And these items we can use up to twice during the game. And we have these spots down the bottom here to keep track of how many times we use them. So we're going to grab some black cubes again. So we're going to take 4 of these black plastic cubes, and we're going to place 2 on each item. So these items, they're not inventions, they're items. They represent the things that we arrived on the island with. Alright, and we're going to be able to use each of these items twice. And as we use each time, we remove 1 black cube. So once both black cubes are removed, we can no longer use that item. So they have limited use, but they are things that we begin the game with already. And the remainder of the starting items, well, they're going to go back to the box. They're not going to form part of the game. The next set of random items we're going to place out are these discovery tokens. So these are things that we can discover as we're exploring the island. These are, little things that may turn up, food, treasures, whatever. So once more, this is a deck of tokens this time that we're going to shuffle and place at the side of the board. And we'll keep them in a stack for the duration of the game. But the next thing we need to do is pick our scenario. And as we're learning the game, and this is our first playthrough, let's start with something simple. And we'll start with scenario 1, which is castaways. Alright, there's 6 scenarios. There's scenario 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 1 on each side of these 3 cards. I'll let you explore those yourself. So let's start with the introductory scenario, castaways. We'll find a spot for this card up here. Let's take a quick look around this and see what it all means. There's going to be 12 rounds in the game. Different scenarios have different numbers of rounds. During setup, we're going to take this plain wooden cube, we're going to stick it on round number 1 here. This description here gives you an overview of what the scenario is. This tells you the goal of the scenario, so there's some text here. There's different discoveries. Remember these discovery tokens? Some of them will have these symbols on, and this scenario will tell you what those symbols means. So for example, in the castaway scenario, if I grab this discovery token here, I find the matching symbol, and it says that this discovery here is a pirate saber. Okay, so different scenarios, these things may mean different things. These are additional inventions here that you can build during this scenario. So we have a mast here and a hatchet. We'll look at those when we come to it. Different victory points. This section here is significant because the goal of our scenario here, or one of the goals of our scenario, is to build a giant log pile. There's going to be kind of like a beacon to attract a passing ship and rescue us from this island. Each one of these squares here represents a piece of wood that we need to find on the island, and we're going to have to collect this wood and build this massive bonfire. Now we've chosen our scenario, the next thing is we're going to take this final deck of cards, and this is called the event decks. Okay, and they've all got this question mark on a green flag on the back. On the front side, you'll see that they're split into 2, top and bottom. What we're looking for at this part of the game during setup is we need to split these into 2 piles. Alright? If you read the rule book, it says we need to split these into 1 deck of event cards that show book icon and 1 set of cards which show adventure icon. Have a look at these cards. This is what it means. This is what it's talking about. They had me stumped for a little while, but I don't know why. It's obvious now. But here's this book symbol. So all these cards have this book symbol. Okay? See this book icon? Alright, so I'm going to grab all the cards with this book icon and I'm going to place them in 1 deck. All the other cards have adventure icon. that means this circle with a question mark. Alright, so we've got green, grey, brown. Alright, so you might spend a little bit of time at the beginning sorting those into 2 decks. Okay, why is that important? Because we want a mixture of these 2 different types of event cards in our event deck. So we've got our 2 decks of event cards, adventure ones and book ones. And from the top here they look identical. What we're going to do is shuffle each of these. Okay, and then we're going to look at our scenario and see how many rounds the scenario has. Castaways has 12 rounds. We're going to divide that by 2, and that gives us 6. So to give us our 12 events, we're going to take 6 from each deck that we created here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These, they go back in the box, we don't need them. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But these go back in the box. So we've got 6 adventure events, 6 with the book icon events. We're going to shuffle these, and this will become our event deck for the game. I'm going to give that a good shuffle, and once I've done that, it will go in the top left here in the event space on our main map. Okay, there's 3 more cards that we've not mentioned, and these are event cards as well, and they have this bluer back. Okay, these are called wreckage cards, and for your first game, for your starting out, wrecked lifeboat, captain's chest, put those back in the box. We're just going to take food crates, and this is going to be our starting event, and it's going to go over here in the threat actions field, and it's got 2 sides, a right side and a left side. So these are kind of like the active threats that are out there on adventure. They're called threats, but they might be good things. Okay, so food crates is a good thing, and if you look at it, you can see that what it represents is, you know, we've arrived on the island, there's some food crates floating out at sea, we can go and retrieve them. Alright, but during each round a new threat will arrive from the event deck. This one will move to the left and the new one will arrive here on the right, and then in the following round a new one will come. So everything's going to shift to the left, and food crates will drop off the end, and we've missed our chance. Okay, that was a threat that was there, it's gone, we can no longer resolve it, but there will be this last thing. So when this thing drops off the end, there may be some kind of punishment for not resolving that threat or facing off that threat. In this case it says nothing happens. So we start the game with food crates here, but like I said, there's 3 of these wreckage cards. So these are like wreckages as a result of, you know, you're getting deserted on this island, and in later games you can randomly choose those if you wish. Alright, so start with food crates here, and this will be there for us, ready for the start of the game. For now, that's setup complete. We are ready to take on Robinson Crusoe adventure on the cursed island.